can assure you nobody's taking that hat for this year.
But I hope he will retire after he loses.
There won't be another coach. I'm impressed with everybody but him.
It's because they're scared that they may be wrong.
Fully capable of surpassing all of them.
I'm going to give her a run for her money.
I'm coming to win. I'm not coming for fun.
Fair and unfortunate.
He's going to come with losses. It's not the end of the world.
Need for a black curtain backdrop, and I get it.
Bodybuilding is my control within chaos.
My conditioning kills.
Look, you got a really exclusive interview because I ain't been saying none of this shit, yo. I've been holding my tongue on the internet.
Yes, guys, another episode of Bikini Insider with my co-hosts Marnie and Kerry. Marnie is back from Dubai. Kerry has gone from Italy to Germany. Look, today's episode is very much a recap of the Italy show and now, of course, the Germany show, Europa Pro, happening this weekend. The last qualifier for Olympia, even though Kerry's already qualified, is still a major, major show. I tell you what, before I go to Kerry, Marnie, did you catch much of a show while you were away?
Yeah, I was in the desert.
She was literally in the desert.
I don't know how I managed to get signal. Unfortunately, though, I did get a link to the live stream. I think, was it you that sent it? But by the time I watched it, Bikini was over. So I didn't get to see much, but I did briefly speak to Kerry, like, in the middle of, like, between pre-judging and finals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to talk about the show because you freaking smashed it. Oh
Thank you so much.
Like, I was messaging, I don't know if you saw my messages in the group chat, because obviously on show day it is a bit chaotic, but to me, like, everything was just, your glam was on point, your physique, like, just, you looked so polished. Like, the best you ever have on stage.
Thank you so much. I think we always see our flaws. You guys... So basically, for obviously anyone listening to this, running into this show, I went ghost on social media, like completely ghost, because not because of like there was any pressure or anything like that, just because it was really busy. I had two clients competing, one the day before, one the day of my show. Obviously I'm like looking out for Mark, having to do like my Trained by JP stuff on the forum, and just like packing, make sure, and after every single meal I have to check in, and then like it just felt like a lot. And I had to just really put my energy towards like just any bit that I had left for me, if that makes sense, because I was pouring out to a lot of other people. So as you two know, because obviously we have our little group chat, I was keeping you up to date, and I was keeping my client group chat up to date as well with regards to the stomach issues that I was experiencing, which were crazy. So I need to post about that at some point, because you've seen the photos and you've seen like how bad it was. So I was contemplating not stepping on stage. Obviously I would have turned up to the show, and you've seen the pictures, and I would have had to stand there and literally say, look, I can go on stage, but this is what we're dealing with. My midsection was very, very bloated. I think what happened from it was the 31st of August, the week before the show, literally. I went to Ultraflex Rotherham to see Meg. She looked at me and my face was like, it's come back now because we're eating. She was like, you're literally like really like drawn in, we need to start eating. And that previous week, TMI, but I didn't have any bowel movements for 4 days in a row. And then we started to eat, and like it started to work again. And then I started to really, my body just, the metabolism was just like on fire. So one of the days it was like 91 grams of fats, reaching like, nearly 500 grams of carbs. And then I think from going from like 1600 calories to like almost 4000 calories, I think it initially like helped. And then and then it went like, what the hell? And that coupled with obviously like the travel, the like constant doing stuff, helping Mark do his thing, helping my clients. I think like I didn't feel stressed. I can handle everything, but I think it affected my body, if that makes sense. So like I always find in here, like I can do whatever, I can keep going, but the body almost doesn't sometimes want to do that, if that makes sense. So it did start to work and I had some treatment. I didn't feel like it was completely tight. Like personally, when I look at the photos, versus like my check-ins from like this morning and yesterday and after the show and stuff like that. Now food has just stayed like high and things are working. I'm like, okay, like I'm actually back to like normal. So fingers crossed we just stay that way. That was one of the hardest things to deal with going into the show was that. Um, so yeah, really, really surprised by my placing. I always am. I never believe that.
It wasn't a fluke.
Well, let's talk about that for a moment because obviously I watched the entire show,
Okay.
every division. So let's obviously focus on yourself. When they had that final call out, I mean, you all took turns to be in the center. So you're saying that you were surprised with the results. I mean, you had the opportunity to be a center. So what was actually surprising on the day for you?
So I think when you're on stage, you don't know where you are. As funny as that sounds, I don't know. I don't acknowledge who is next to me, how many people are next to me, where I'm like at, if I'm in the middle or not. Like it's really bizarre.
Even though it's been like your 20th, 30th pro show.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. And I think the thing is, like, the old me would have only ever like dreamed of these kind of placings. And this is the first season that I've come into a show and not came like seventh or eighth. It's the first time I've got goosebumps saying it actually. That I've come into a show and placed second. So I was like, oh my gosh, like that's a huge improvement for me because usually it's been seventh or eighth, and you always have that like level of like disbelief or whatever. It is there for all of us a little bit.
But things are different now, isn't it, Kerry? Because like you go into the show as an Olympian. So when people look at the lineups, the first thing they're thinking, if you're competing or you're just a fan of the division, you're thinking, how many Olympians are in this lineup? And when you ever see any media outlet in the bikini division, they'll always outline these are the people who are the favorites because they're already qualified for the Olympia. So there was already going to be not so much the expectation, but I guess people knew you. They knew you're going to the show, and we believed you'd be there or thereabouts at the
Your name
top.
is recognized. Your name is recognized 100%.
I get that. I get that completely. But the way I see it as well is that placings change from one week to the next. You've seen it many times where you've seen top Olympian athletes come into shows, and like I said on the podcast before, I could start my season again. It doesn't matter that I'm an Olympian. Something could go wrong or not in my favor, or there might be an athlete that's literally like come out of nowhere, or other athletes that have improved so much, or I could be off. That really being an Olympian doesn't really matter that much, in my opinion.
I see what you mean, and I think as well, like it's important for you to know that we are not going to discredit to this show as well. Like you placed second because you deserved it. Like you deserve to be in the mix, like being looked at top three. And like I said this to you, mate, like when you were getting ready for the show and stuff, something just feels different about this year. Like everything feels different in terms of like, I don't know, your confidence, your peace. We talked about it on the last podcast we did as well. Like you're just so present, you're not so stressed. Like, and I think that is what's showcasing now on stage for you. So,
yeah.
Kerry, did you think when it came down to the final two, did you think that you was at any point in your head maybe thinking, I might have got the win, or at that point were you thinking, I'm happy that I'm here in the final two?
So I think when it came to the call outs of, because like even speaking to the other girls who were in that like top five, because it was so like you literally had no idea who was going to be where, in my opinion. So when it came to like fifth place, I was like, oh, okay, not me. Then it was like, okay, I might be fourth, right? Okay, not me. Then it was like, might be third. Okay, not me. And then when it comes to first and second, I was like, wow, like either way, I'm actually really, really chuffed with this because again, this is a new personal best to me because I've never done that in an opening show of the season. So I think that was just like one of those moments. There wasn't like I haven't had like a damn it moment, like, oh, I was so close, I didn't come first. There hasn't been any of that. There's just like, oh, amazing, okay. So like I came second and I really, really enjoyed myself on that stage. I felt so at peace. I don't know if you could see that through my presentation, but I just felt like so right there. And that to me is a win as well.
You were so poised. Wasn't she? Like,
yeah, I tell you what, the stream was it was so laggy at times. Like when I filmed your part of the routine, I had to stop it but when you turn around, it just went all glitchy. But thank God, when they did the comparisons, it went back to how it was. But I want to ask this as well, because at Romania, you were on the side where you won that Olympia qualification. And this time you're on the other side to see somebody else fulfill their dream. And that person's reaction was just like you, like on the knees. And I saw you very much like enjoying that moment with her because she's realizing the same thing that you went through at your last show.
So, I don't know if you realized, I don't know how to say her name properly. Pata?
Yeah.
Is it Patricia?
Patricia, yeah.
Patricia, yeah.
I just always see on her athlete bag it says Pata, so maybe that's her nickname. She came when I did Hungary last year. She came first, I came second. When I did Romania, I came first, she came fifth. And then this show, she wasn't being compared in the top three. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yep.
She wasn't being compared to, I don't know, because again, like my stage awareness just goes out the window. Maybe she was in the second call outs. So I am friends with her. I came off stage and I personally went and found her backstage because like I know she's an Olympian like already because she qualified at that show in Hungary last year. And I know that like if I think it was second call outs that she got, like I felt like she might have had her head down a bit and been a bit disappointed. So I went backstage and I went directly to her and I really, really appreciate her physique and I really like her physique. I think she's got a really nice tiny waist, really great proportions and everything like that. So I went up to her and she was with her little team and I said to her, you never know what could happen. He will rejudge. I said, please keep your head up. And I said, and please remember that last year I came 8th, 11th, 3rd, 2nd, third, first. And I said to her, bikini goes like this. One show, I've got goosebumps. One show doesn't define you. And she said to me, like, thank you so much. Her team were like really grateful for it. And I just don't like it when I see people like a bit disappointed because I said to her as well, like, just remember how you got to this place here. And that's what I would remind my own self in that same situation. And that's my mindset this year with any placing is just the things that I've been through. Like, like even for me pumping up backstage, it was really, really hard for me to get any form of pump in my shoulder. It was a bit inflamed and it was cracking with everything that I was doing. And in my poses while I was holding it, my shoulder was really hurting as well. So like we all have personal battles. I'm sure she's had her own personal battles going through prep as well. So I just wanted to remind her of like, what she's gone through and to like whatever. And also just that things can change and Jack will rejudge. And obviously that's what he did do. And that's what happened. And she obviously came in, kept her head up, and obviously worked hard for that placing and got rewarded for it. So maybe he just saw her, thought that's the winner, and didn't even need to like put her in a call out because sometimes that does happen. So that could have been that. But my feedback personally was that my tan was a bit too light. which is a little bit frustrating when it comes down to something like that. My overall everything like glam, whatever, was spot on. He just said that all he wanted me to do, which was a little bit inconsistent, was just to rotate my shoulders to the front slightly. And that would have been it. I spoke to another judge and he said that you had the best glutes from the back on stage, which was really hard for me to see because on the screens, when I hit my back shot, I was looking up and I was like, oh my God, where's my glute ham tying gone? Have I gone that soft? I was like looking up, like in my pose, like, am I soft? All my days, like, what's happened? So I was thinking to myself, like, oh no, like I've gone too soft. But actually, I got told that like my glute, my upper outer glute was the best from the back, and literally I just needed to be more consistent with the front shot. I asked about my waistline, and there was no comments on my waistline, but I think that's just something that I always personally pick out on. And yeah, that was my feedback, and I said like, shall I just register for the next show, Germany? Because I hadn't at that point, and just take your feedback on board and get in front of you again. And he said, like, yeah, do it. Like it's all adding into like if you feel fresh and you're fine. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm on like 2,500 calories, no cardio, like calories going up, I'm fine. So I'll do it.
I just want to touch on, sorry, the feedback about twisting your shoulders more forward. Was that something that you were aware of that maybe, I mean, that you've done in the past, or was that something new you've heard?
Something new.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was something new. Everything was fine, literally from downwards, but I just apparently needed to just twist around just to get a little bit more width. So I said to him, okay, do you mean like, and showed him, and he was like, literally, yeah, just like that. It was literally a centimeter. So what I'm going to do is I've obviously got photos that I'm taking, and he just said to me, just feel free to send me a picture this week. But I've hit the pose and the pose over and over, and like it's just there. So it wasn't much of a change. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, that's literally the feedback.
And now we have Germany, this leads me nicely to let me just bring up the lineup because I'm keen to hear your thoughts, Kerry. Like I've got my thoughts here. Oh God, where is it? Where is it? The which lineup do you think is more competitive, Germany or Italy? When you see some of the names.
Can you pull up the lineup for me?
Yeah, I'm just literally just grabbing it now.
I've been so MIA that I don't really like. I haven't really looked.
I actually haven't seen it either.
Oh, I was gonna ask you, Marty, if you've seen it as well. Let me bring it up now. Here we go. So, can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got Adriana from Poland, who is the reigning Europa champion.
Yeah.
Lisa Reef, who's obviously already secured 2 pro wins so far this year, obviously home country in Germany. And we can see some other names as well who've also competed over Italy, and they're back over here as well.
Yeah, I think this is a really strong lineup.
I think so too.
He has one of my favorite physiques. So when I was a amateur, I did the Fit Parade show. Funny enough, always do that show. And that was the first pro show that I ever watched. And I watched her, and she was one of my favorite physiques from way back when. So I think a lot of her physique. I think she has an incredible physique. So yeah, that would be really interesting to see. She beat me at Europa. She came first, she Europa, and I came third. That was Tyler wanted to see a bit more glute med on me. That was my feedback back then, which I know now that we've done, which is like I'm happy with that. So that's good. It'll be interesting to obviously compete with Lisa. She's had an absolutely amazing like run of shows, hasn't she, as well? Everyone's making improvements from show to show. So I'm sure there's people on this list here that would have also got feedback like I did. So they'll be able to have a great run of trying to work just like me on feedback. I see Rania as well. She's doing show to show as well, isn't she? She's trying to get that qualification. I really think a lot of Hen, I think a lot of her physique, and I feel like she needs to be seen. Like I feel like she's one of those athletes where I'm like, I really want her to be seen and like recognized because I think she has a really fantastic physique. So I think, yeah, this is a really great lineup, and I'm really excited to be in it because I do think that there is some great competition here that would be nice to see. Yeah, it'll be,
Well, is Jack head judging it?
yes, yeah, he
Okay,
is.
awesome. And we already know, like, it's already sold out. I mean, what I think it's like a 1,500 auditorium, so it's going to be loud as hell. Like,
Okay.
it's Dennis James, it's his show. Barbara's obviously co-promoted it. There's a lot of German pros who are competing across all divisions. It's going to be loud. It's going to be one hell of a atmosphere. I'm fortunate enough to be granted a press pass to attend
No
the
way.
show. So
Oh.
I'll be there Saturday or Sunday.
Amazing. Oh, that's epic. But yeah, with regards to the lineup though, I still think it's a really strong lineup. And yeah, I'm just excited to just be on stage again. Again, I've got no expectations. Obviously I want to win. Who doesn't? We're all competing to win. But again, there's no pressure, there's no nothing. I'm just like going to the gym, it feels like, just doing my thing, what I love to do. And then anything more than that is obviously going to be great. It would be fantastic to win. Really, really would. I'd love that. But again, I'm really grateful for being on stage after everything I've been throughout this whole entire prep. Anyway, so yeah, whatever happens, happens.
I guess the fact that like the main feedback when it comes to anything you need to adjust for the show has simply just been something to do with just twisting your shoulders. And Jack's always seen it. He's head judge of the same show as well. But that's got to give you that nice momentum going into what is a major show and what is also just like the Italy show. This show is. All eyes are going to be on this one, like around the world, because it's the only show to have all the divisions. 71 grand in prize money. It's the last qualified for Olympia, even though you already qualified. It's going to get a lot of eyeballs going to be drawn onto it. And personally, I do feel that you, Adriana, and Lisa. I mean, that does look like the big three in this show. When we look at the record, the resume does say this should be the three that could be challenging for first, second, third.
We'll see. We'll
That's
see.
it.
There could be a dark horse somewhere in there that pops out from nowhere. You just never know, do you? But yeah, I'm doing my best over here to do that. I had a really good session with Mark today. We actually got to train. We did a bit of a session together, which was lovely, and it's really peaceful over here. Got a really nice place as well. So like, I actually feel like my stress is a bit lower than Italy going into this as well. So that's exciting.
I'm going to bring up a couple of lineups for other shows this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Because we've got Janet Lang's show, Battle of the Bodies. This is a massive one because there's 2 pages here.
I just had a question. Obviously, with the new rules that have come out,
Yes.
is that from this weekend?
So it starts after this weekend.
After this weekend, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely going to be jumping into Romania.
Do you know what? When I saw that, I thought,
Yeah.
oh my God, even more of an incentive now for Kerry to do that show again.
Definitely.
Me and Meg already know, so we've said already, like yeah, let's just do as many shows as we can do.
Yeah.
Operation. So yeah.
Mega. Sorry, Janet Lang's Battle of the Bodies. This is a huge show.
It's amazing, isn't it? I wish
Also,
I wish I was doing this show.
I mean, God, what is that? I think there's like 35, 40 girls here.
Hey, why not?
This is page 1. What are the names jump out here?
Lorna.
Lorna Dunbar, yes, love her.
Yeah. Is that how you say her name? Julia?
Yeah, Yulia, Taylor Crowell.
Yep.
So, well, yeah, if we're talking Olympians anyway.
Yeah.
Who's on the second page?
Well, arguably the favourite to take the win, Alice Rocha.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Emily
Oh,
Pripyat.
Alice Marsh.
Alice,
Yeah.
yeah. Alice.
Yeah, Alice is doing it. She is with Team Atlas now. Isn't
She looks
she?
crazy.
Insane. Absolutely. I told her I saw her at the weekend. Yeah, and she was like, we had a really good chat actually, to be fair. And
Unbelievable physique.
unbelievable.
Sara Panzetti, did she competed at the Italy show, right?
Yeah, she did.
She came third.
I love, yeah, her physique's great as well. I think she's got really nice lines and just she's beautiful as well. So that's really
Yeah,
exciting to see. This is
Sophia Molnar as well.
yeah, yes, excited to see her again. I think this is her first time doing a US show, probably the same as Sarah as well. Uh,
I mean, really, this Alice, there's been a lot of talk about her potentially breaking into the top 10 this year of Olympia. So, given this should really be her show, try and take the win and take some major momentum. She's just been over to Pittsburgh, did a bit of posing with JM, and obviously met the Manus over there. So, yeah, you would think this could be her show. One of the ones, is the Rising Phoenix.
yes. Yeah, let's look at this lineup. Marissa's doing it. It was nice to see her get rewarded the other week.
Yeah, amazing. And Brittany Hamilton is
Yeah.
back. So glad she's back.
I always feel really bad when we do these because sometimes I can't pronounce people's names, and then some people know them as different on social media. So I really, yeah, if I don't ever pick people out, I feel like really bad.
But yeah,
Just a busy weekend in general, to be honest, across the board. Like, it's crazy because usually if there's like multiple shows, one of the lineups might have less athletes in, but I feel like all three of them are just stacked.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
That only means that the Olympia is only around the corner because we're now like a month away. So it's a month this weekend. Molly, you mentioned as well. I just want to touch on this very briefly because I know you're struck for time, Kerry. The new Olympia ruling. Molly, we spoke about it on the Fifth Model Edition, but may as well get Kerry your thoughts on this as well. Thoughts on the new ruling?
So I think it's cool, you know. I think it brings back like the prestige of it. I think it makes it a bit more of a challenge, definitely a challenge, you know, to secure like those 2 wins to be in Romania or like another big show. And actually, when Romania got put on that list, it was when it kind of sunk into me a little bit that like, oh, I actually won Romania. Like it is a top tier show. Mark always says to me, like, you're so stupid. Like it's a top tier show. You won a really good show. And I'm always like, yeah. And then when I saw it, I was like, wow. So yeah. So I think from a obviously there's always going to be like pros and cons of things. Shows are very expensive to do if you're, you know, chasing the point system, trying to get that second win, for example, then like for some people it could come down to at some point like I can't do this because I can't financially do it.
Do you think,
or in more countries than others?
Do you think shows will be busier at the very start? Like, okay, do you think shows will be busier after Olympia? So the back end of this year, the start of 2025, so that big period, or getting closer to Olympia and the reason why I say that is if you've done your lot of shows and you're only in the point system, you're then waiting and just watching like, I could drop out and I'm prepping for Olympia thinking I'm in there. You might be 20th the point system. You believe you're there and then all of a sudden you drop out and you're like, oh God, I can't even focus on Olympia because I'm not sure if I'm actually qualified.
That's an interesting one. And I think as well that this takes, this to me is, I think it's gonna, I don't know how to explain this properly. So for me, like I always want to sit at like 6 weeks, 8 weeks out from a show, and I can do that like very well on like no cardio, high calories, like consistency throughout my whole off season and stuff like that. So like I think if I was in that place with the points, like I would and I started at the beginning of the year, let's say, and I couldn't secure the 2 wins, and I was like, in the points or whatever that may be. Like I feel confident that I would just be able to go, right, okay, like points are looking a bit, are we going to be in? Like, I think we need to jump into a show, so quick, let's just start a prep and get going again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the new setup. I think it takes the sport, I think, to a little bit of a harder level to like achieve and adds a little bit more prestige to it. Like I said, there are pros and cons to everything, but I think it had to be done. I think it had to be done, to be honest.
People say away Marnie as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, like Kerry said, there's pros and cons, and ultimately you can't please everybody no matter what you do. Like with no point system, I think everybody was feeling the same way about the volume of athletes that were qualifying. So it's hard because it's like, well, how else do we reduce that number? I think it is going to sting a little bit for the girls that just win one show and then don't qualify. That's going to be really hard for some people because you kind of feel like, oh, well, I've won a show, so surely like I've won the qualification. And I think as well, like, for all the other shows now that are outside of the like Olympia qualify, like the promoters won't be able to like promote their show now as an Olympia qualifier. It'll be like Olympia point, or do you get what I'm saying? Like,
I was thinking that as well. Like, it just, you do lose some of the, I try to find the right word to describe it, but it's that winning feeling where if you win your class, you have that Olympia card, and now it's like, okay, I'm halfway there now.
Yeah,
so it's literally I gotta go for the next one. And sometimes as promoters, you want to have that moment on your stage where people secure that Olympia qualification because all of a sudden that show becomes meaningful for them. Now it's a matter of, but I mean,
I've heard some people talk about, the fact that like maybe, we should not that we shouldn't have a point system, but instead there should be some sort of, well, we've spoke about this ourselves, to be fair, the elimination round thing. But again, like there's pros and cons to that because it's like, so if someone qualifies and they go all the way to Vegas and then they can't get on the Olympia stage, you can't really have that either. But then there's also the suggestion of like only the top 20 girls get to do a routine. So like everybody else just does comparisons instead, which again might create, I don't know, like better timings for the show and stuff like that. But yeah, I think ultimately like the point system, definitely agree with Kerry, like there was something that had to be done. But I think that's going to be really difficult as well. Yeah, like if people are waiting for someone else to qualify so that they then stay in the point system, if that makes sense.
I'm really excited for it.
I think lineups will be so more competitive than ever before.
Yeah.
I mean, and also the promoters are winning because now they're going to have these marquee names coming to show. And yeah, I think
there's going to be people that want to block it as well. Like there's going to be people that want to like block it. So I think it levels it up. It's harder. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm like now thinking like, oh gosh, like I've got to try and like win 2 shows for goodness sake, or do like lots of shows for this. But at the same time, I see it like
win Romania again.
Yeah. But I see it like as like it's just it's a sport and it makes it more of a sport. Like
it does.
I think you'll see anybody who's in that top 10 at the Olympia, well, outside of the top 3, because obviously that's automatic qualification. I think placings 4 to 7, those girls will probably be jumping straight into shows to secure their qualifications.
Yeah.
For next
year.
Yeah. We it used to be a big thing of you win your IP Pro, and that used to be the most prestigious thing. The prestigious thing right now is being an Olympian, and now it's even more prestigious going into 2026 because if you are Olympian, it's because you've had to do it. You've had to win multiple shows, or if you are in the point system, you're the best 25 out of how many hundreds of girls or whichever division you're in.
I think that's cool.
Yeah. Okay, Kerry.
Yes.
You've got a show to prepare for, so mine, you're going to be buying a stream, right? The pay-per-view to watch?
Oh, you broke off there. What did you say? Am I going to buy the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Now that I'm not in the middle of nowhere, I will be watching. Can't wait. What are the timings? Do we know?
Your section, I believe, Kerry, is from 4 o'clock onwards.
Yeah.
And the show should finish at 9 p.m. Sorry?
Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Nice.
Can't
So, yeah,
wait.
really excited. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can get that first place or not, or whatever. But again, I'm grateful to just be there, and I can't wait to just enjoy the stage again. So yeah.
We'll recap Germany next week.
Yeah, man, let's do it. I will be in Seattle at that point. So
Oh my God, that's crazy.
I fly on Tuesday to
That's a wrap, guys.